NSMQ 2024 is just around the corner. It is happening on the campus of the University of Cape Coast, UCC. We want to wish all contesting schools success in this intellectual endeavor and remind them to go along with their copies of the famous Thinking Mathematics. We don't want to go to Cape Coast and be asked to find the area bounded by the curve x squared minus 4 and the x-axis and be sweating. We want to note that if we have a curve of the form x squared minus a squared, then the area bounded by this curve and the x-axis is given by 4 on 3 a cubed. For that matter, the area bounded by the curve x squared minus 4 and the x-axis is 32 on 3 squared units. We don't want to go to Cape Coast, and when asked to evaluate limit as s approaches 2 of the fraction x exponent 6 minus 64 divided by x minus 2 and be wandering on stage, that would not be good for our sponsors. Our parents are watching. Our past students have invested a lot into us. We want to note that anytime we have a curve of the form x exponent n minus a exponent n divided by x minus a, then the limit as s approaches a is given by n a exponent n minus 1. There we go. So what will be the limit as s approaches 2 of x exponent 6 minus 64 on x minus 2? We have 6 multiplying 2 exponent 5, that is 6 times 32. We want to go to Cape Coast with our definitions intact so that when asked to distinguish between a square number and an exact square, we won't be struggling. Thinking Mathematics has always maintained that definitions in mathematics are not only important, they are crucial in addition to being important. So, a square number, popularly called a perfect square, is that integer which we get anytime we multiply an integer by itself. And so a square number is the square of an integer. An exact square is a number we get when we multiply a rational number by itself. We find that every square number is an exact square. The converse is not the case. We don't want to go to Cape Coast, and when asked how many positive divisors has 360, then we will be drawing the factor tree, 2, 180, and all those. We want to write the prime factorization of 360, which is 2 exponent 3 times 3 exponent 2 times 5. And after increasing each of these exponents by 1, we multiply them, and then we get our number of positive divisors. So 360 has 24 positive divisors. We don't want to struggle to know the difference between an even function and an odd function. An odd function has its curve symmetric about the origin, odd origin, whereas an even function has its curve symmetric about the y-axis. Don't get it twisted. There is no function whose graph is symmetric about the x-axis. If your graph is symmetric about the x-axis, then you are not a function. We wish all schools the best of success go along with your copy of Thinking Mathematics, and you're going to have a very successful NSMQ 2024.